coming up tonight on the news at 10. Great Falls High is open again after COVID-19 cases forced a 2-day closure. How students and staff are feeling. Plus, concerned about the all-mail ballot election? Mike Dennison takes a look at the security and procedures in place to verify and count thousands of mailed ballots.
From Montana's news leader, this is MTN News at 10.
Well, good evening. Welcome to the News at 10. I'm Marian Davidson. Thanks for joining us. Positive COVID-19 cases forced Great Falls High to shut down earlier this week, but today, students were back in the classroom. MTN's Zach Shermley reports.
On Sunday night, Mary Day, an English teacher at Great Falls High School, got a dreaded phone call.
Told me I needed to initiate the emergency phone tree for our teachers.
It was one of the associate principals at Great Falls High School saying the school would be transitioning to remote learning for the next 2 days after more coronavirus cases, including students and staff, were confirmed in the building.
Feeling at first was, it's okay, it's only 2 days. Not like last March where we didn't know. We thought it would be 2 weeks, but then it's going to be, now longer. Okay, so that's lunch.
Wednesday, students returned to Great Falls High with extra safety measures in place. But weeks like this one probably aren't going away anytime soon. At a press conference on Monday, Superintendent Tom Moore said if more cases are confirmed at school buildings and they don't have enough time to clean and contact trace, they will have to transition to remote learning intermittently.
My fear is that I'll get that phone call that we're going full remote, and I don't want to do that.
It's just one more way that this semester is shaping up to be a lot more complicated than even last semester was.
A lot of kids are more nervous about am I going to be the next kid who's contact traced and I have to quarantine for 2 weeks? Because when one kid gets sick, it doesn't just affect them. It's all the kids who are around them.
It was all just so crazy.
Mackenzie Thurston, a senior, has been quarantining for 2 weeks after coming into contact with someone with the virus. She's been doing fully remote learning, which has been tough with the network outage.
The whole experience, it just made me realize how grateful I have to be for everything that I have, because everything literally got taken away from me in just a phone call. I was on my way.
Well, that was Zach Shermley reporting, and now it's time for First Weather with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz.
Well, good evening, everybody. Air quality continues to be a concern, an issue here for a lot of the state. Some places a little worse than other areas, mainly west of the Continental Divide. There are many locations at unhealthy air. Helena right now unhealthy for sensitive groups, but it's really just not the healthiest to be outside exerting yourself. And central, eastern Montana, moderate, but again, that's not good. That's not clean air. Wildfires continue to burn really out of Montana. We'll get more into Montana's fires and the containment levels that we're up to right now, but a lot of this smoke coming from Idaho, some big fires here, of course, Oregon, Washington, and Northern California, and it's been a pattern all week long. We'll have at least one more day of this before that low pressure is on the move. But thick smoke here in Montana, throughout a lot of the west, throughout a lot of the country, and can you believe this smoke is now crossed the Atlantic, and we've got wildfire smoke from fires in the west that have made it all the way into Europe. Yep, the air still stinks. It's still going to stink for another couple of days. A wetter west will be better. We've got a storm that will bring rain to several states that are seeing wildfires, and a little sunnier on Sunday than Saturday. More on the full forecast coming up.
All right, thanks for that, Curtis. And other schools are dealing with coronavirus. Montana Western in Dillon will start giving weekly updates on the number of positive COVID-19 cases they find on their campus to the Department of Public Health. Campus officials say this will be an important part in keeping the public informed about the spread of the virus.
I just think it's great for the community. Everyone wants to know. Everyone knew that this would happen eventually. Everybody wants to know what's the extent of what's going on in our community, and how much of it is attributed to the community, how much to the campus, how much to the schools.
Western has recorded 9 positive cases and all 9 have recovered. Montana Tech has warned students about being reckless by attending off-campus gatherings without masks. MTN's John Amy asked students what they think about that urgent message.
Montana Tech's Chancellor Les Cook warned students recently on the Butte campus that large off-campus gatherings are bringing positive cases of COVID-19 onto the campus. Some students believe they are being safe.
I think we're all self-aware about COVID and what the risks are, and when we should wearing a mask and when we should be social distancing.
The chancellor last week sent a mass email to all students, staff, and faculty stating that students are participating in off-campus gatherings without wearing masks. Freshman Sam Burns says he has not attended any of these large gatherings, but has heard about them happening.
People should be safe when they're going off campus and gathering in small groups, but it's college, what are you going to do? People are going to have parties.
While many students appreciate the importance of social distancing during this time of the pandemic, part of the college experience is socializing, so it's difficult to convince 18, 19, 20-year-olds not to interact.
When you're in college and all you do is go to classes and you have like 7-hour free times and the weekends free, you're going to meet up and go to parties. One of the biggest things here was going to tailgates at football games.
You're right.
And since that got taken away, everyone's just going out to parties and going out driving, whatever they can do.
In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
Montana Tech has not released how many students or staff have tested positive for the virus, but they are working with public health to get the information out. A global group of sign painters and mural artists are in Helena this week to create a piece of art harkening back to Helena's past. MTN's Alexia Guayo has the story.
Ghost signs are known to fade away over time. However, this one behind me here is being created purposely.
They are known as the Wall Dogs, a group of sign painters and mural artists from all over the globe hired to paint a ghost sign, among other things, for the soon-to-open Farmers State Bank on North Last Chance Gulch. The bank says they wanted to participate in the community by revisiting its history.
I think that's one thing that the bank is pretty excited about, and specifically within the Helena market, the design and kind of tying into that area.
The ghost sign will say the rail yard and pay homage to the neighboring railroad district. The artist will also paint the gas meter into a bug and paint the backside of the building into the bank's steampunk theme. The artists say it's not common for communities to want to create ghost signs.
Communities don't even know that these old ghost signs are a way of the past, and they're no longer being done, and there are not that many people who are doing them. Helena is one of the few communities who's done more than one, and it's highly unusual to incorporate that in a new build.
The Wall Dogs have been in Helena 2 times already. They've restored the ghost sign at Eddie's Bakery and the ghost sign at Palmquist Electric. They say they are proud of the Helena community for preserving the ghost signs as a piece of history.
The wall signs, they're there, and it's like they're fading away, and if there isn't something done with them, they're going to be gone. So our kids, grandkids won't ever get to enjoy that.
These paintings are expected to be finished by the end of this week. The bank is scheduled to open in October. In Helena, I'm Alexi Guayo, MTN News.
Coming up on the news at 10, how the Montana Stock Growers Association is helping ranchers affected by wildfires.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching MTN News at 10.
Welcome back to the news at 10. In tonight's Montana Ag Network feature, Lane Nordland shares important information for livestock owners impacted by wildfire.
As livestock and landowners take inventory of the damage caused by wildfires, the Montana Stock Growers Association is helping producers find resources they need to rebuild.
Under USDA, the first one would be Farm Service Agencies, the FSA. They do have the Livestock Indemnity Program. That program has been set up for direct losses for any adverse events that happen. So either fire, weather, any of those kind of events. They do need some documentation to go through that. They also do have the livestock forage disaster program, and there is some enrollment requirements there, but another program that may be able to be of some assistance.
USDA's Natural Resource Conservation Service also has resources available through the Environmental Quality Incentive Program, or EQIP.
That program is kind of designed to help with soil erosion or any rehabilitation or recovery, and so it really helps out, for those producers. Maybe you have fences burned out, maybe you have stock tanks burned out. A lot of opportunity there to try to help with some of those things that producers have faced.
Producers grazing on federal or state lands may also have resources available.
In many cases, BLM will supply at least the fencing material. They don't supply the labor, but they do certainly the material if it's all on BLM.
Hay stockpiles have also been lost due to fire, and Montana's Hay Hotline, the online portal where producers can donate, buy, or sell hay, can be found at the Montana Department of Agriculture's website. Reporting, Lane Nordlund, MTN News.
Montana Disaster and Emergency Services also offers valuable information for those impacted by wildfire. And speaking of those wildfires, how about that smoke? Curtis, how long is that going to stick around?
It's going to stick around until we get a storm that will get some rain on or snow on some of the fires here. And would you look at that, as we go through Friday and the weekend, at least a little precipitation falling on fires that are burning throughout the west. More on the full forecast coming up.
Tracker weather starts now with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenus.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Smoke still pretty thick in the capital. You can kind of see the light still picking up some of that smoke. 58 degrees, though. It's a pleasantly cool evening in Great Falls. We're at 54 degrees. This little boundary separating some cleaner and cooler air from the north to a little warmer air, and also a little more in the way of some smoke south and west of that boundary. The boundary kind of bumped right up against the Continental Divide, and that's why areas, for the most part, east of the divide, I say for the most part because Gallatin County still under this air quality warning. We're looking at just really nastier air a little bit west of the divide, and looking into Friday afternoon, a little peak. This is a fire weather watch, precursor to a red flag warning. This could affect the fire, the State Creek fire up there by Whitetail Reservoir here, as the wind will pick up, the humidity drops, and it will be a warmer day. Really nothing going on the radar. We'll take a look at some of the fires. Not much, if any, growth on many of Montana's fires. Bridger Foothills fire, 77% contained, no growth, no real activity there. Little activity on the State Creek fire. Again, this one will have to be watched as we get into Friday afternoon. The Drumming fire, really not showing much in the way of activity there. The Cinnabar fire, this one has been around for a while, 67% containment. Not much on that one either. That one really has been put out, or not put out, but really the activity stopped ever since we had that storm on Labor Day. And Bear Creek fire, southwest Montana, the end of the Beaverhead Mountains here, 85% containment and no real growth. Where's a lot of the smoke coming from? Yes, Oregon and Washington and California, but that's more the upper level smoke, the smoke that's closer to the ground that's contributing to a lot of the bad air coming from fires in Idaho, especially this one, 80,000 acres. And well, that's been growing steadily over the last week or so. On the radar, we've only real activity here, southeast part of the country, where what's left of Sally is moving up through Georgia. The smoke will continue tonight. It will continue tomorrow. But finally, that storm that's been steering all the smoke our way, that comes inland here as we go through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that's going to take a lot of the smoke with it here, kind of cleaning it out as well. But as long as those fires are burning to our southwest, and anytime the wind switches around to the southwest, that smoke will return. So likely after a little improvement Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, probably see that smoke coming back here on Wednesday. Now the precipitation, check that out along the coast. That's beautiful. Love to see that falling over some of those fires in Idaho, the fires that are contributing some of the smoke to our skies. And then here we are Saturday into Sunday. The low pressure moves right across the state. Scattered showers, thunderstorms, and the showers should be moving out as we get into Sunday afternoon here. So still maybe a few showers early on. Lows tonight down into the 40s with Mainly clear but smoky skies. Here's the forecast for tomorrow. We'll have mostly smoky skies again, 70s and 80s. Into Friday, here comes the storm. Maybe a late couple of isolated thunderstorms in the western part of the state. Look at the warmth getting up into the 80s. For Saturday, the low pressure moves right across the state. Scattered showers, thunderstorms, maybe a little sunshine mixed in there as well. Pretty good wind with this low pressure, especially on Sunday as it lifts off towards the north, but still a few lingering showers up there along the high line as we go through late morning into the afternoon. Helena, 7-day forecast, 80s the next couple of days, smoky skies, better air quality Saturday and Sunday. Maybe holding on into Monday, at least we should be around moderate. First day of autumn already coming up on Tuesday. The smoke likely returns Wednesday, Thursday into Friday of next week. And for Great Falls, some smoky skies the next few days. Hopefully some rainy skies Saturday into early Sunday, and then some sunshine to close out the weekend.
Still ahead on the news at 10, MTN chief political reporter Mike Dennison will look at what measures are in place to make sure the all-mail-in election is secure.
Montana's news leader. You're watching MTN News at 10.
Welcome back to the news at 10. Montana is on tap to conduct an all-mail general election in most of its 56 counties, and ballots are scheduled to be mailed in about 3 weeks. Yesterday, MTN chief political reporter Mike Dennison explained how to know if and when you will get a mailed ballot and the details of voter registration. Today, he digs into the security and procedures in place.
In 46 of Montana's 56 counties, ballots will be mailed to all registered voters on October 9th, along with absentee ballots in the other 10 counties, which will also have polling places open on Election Day. Soon after that October 9th date, mailed ballots whose postage is prepaid will start pouring back in to county election offices. That's when local election officials start the verification process for those ballots. They check the signature on the outer envelope to see if it matches up with the signature on that person's voter registration.
I think a lot of people get confused and think basically we're just checking, is this name the name that's signed? But there's a lot more to that. We're looking at the overall character of the signature, the slant, the way the letters are formed. We're looking for, if it's slightly different, is it an explainable difference?
If the signature doesn't seem to match, or if there is no signature, the voter is contacted by mail. For the ballot to count, the voter must provide the proper signature and ID. Many of these problems are resolved, but some are not. During the all-mail ballot primary election in June, less than 1% of returned ballots were not counted because of signature problems. Each envelope also has a unique barcode assigned to that specific registered voter. That tracks whether you voted and is another security step to prevent anyone from voting more than once. Once a ballot is verified, election workers open this outer envelope and take out the unmarked secrecy envelope, which contains the actual ballot. These envelopes are stored in a locked room until it's time to count the ballots. In larger counties, on the Thursday and Friday before the election, October 29th and 30th, election workers start opening these envelopes to unfold the ballots and prepare them for counting. The tabulation by machine starts on Monday, November 2nd, the day before Election Day. Most of the mailed ballots are counted that day, but results aren't released until after 8 p.m. on Election Day. Cascade County Clerk and Recorder Rena Fontana Moore in Great Falls says this entire process is pretty much what county election officials have been doing for more than 2 decades when they count absentee ballots and local all-mail elections. County election administrators say the process is well vetted and that all-mail ballots this general election just means a bigger volume.
Most ballots cast in Montana elections, even polling place elections, are mail ballots. Even when we have polls open, most people have been voting absentee. So the system has been tested. It's been tested for years, and we haven't seen voter fraud happen through this system.
Missoula County Election Administrator Bradley Seaman said this election will be his county's 5th consecutive all-mail election. He says he's looking forward to it and to a record-high turnout, just like in the primary. There are 2 lawsuits filed by Republican Party groups and voters trying to block the all-mail election in Montana based on several grounds. A federal judge will hear those lawsuits next Tuesday. In the meantime, election officials in 46 counties are proceeding full steam ahead with plans for the all-mail election. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Speaking of elections, Democratic gubernatorial candidate Mike Cooney reported his latest fundraising numbers, and they're not small. Cooney, who's locked in a close battle with Republican Greg Gianforte, says he raised $670,000 in the past month. That pushes his total campaign fundraising to $2.5 million, including $1.4 million in the past 3 months. Still, Gianforte is the fundraising leader with $2.8 million from donors as of mid-August, and add in $2.5 million of his own money to the campaign. Montana's governor contest is considered the most competitive governor race in the nation. Recent polls show Gianforte with a single-digit lead, but Cooney released his own poll this month, showing him trailing by 1 point. Gianforte will be releasing his monthly fundraising totals later this week. The gubernatorial contest also includes Libertarian Lyman Bishop of Kalispell. And we'll wrap things up here on the News at 10 when we return.
Montana's news leader. You're watching MTN News at 10.
Well, here is a dynamite deal for you. You could be the new owner of a Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton. All you need is about $6 to $8 million, and Stan, the T-Rex, can be all yours. He's an oldie but a goodie, and I do mean old. Stan walked the earth some 67 million years ago. His skeleton will be displayed at Christie's in New York before he's auctioned off on October 6th. Now, he's big, so make sure you have the room. Stan is 13 feet tall, 40 feet long, and made up of 188 bones. And make no bones about it, he's quite the looker. As one of the largest and most complete T-Rex skeletons in the world, the first of Stan's bones were found in parts of North and South Dakota and right here in Montana. Scientists have been studying him the past 2 decades. Now he's looking for his forever home. And that forever home could be with you. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. That does it for the News at 10. We'll see you back here tomorrow.